All right, good morning, everybody. My name is Trey Burnett. I'm the Sports Information Director here at Butler Community College. We're excited everybody's here today, and thank you for coming, as well as the people watching on live stream. It's an exciting day for the Grizzlies, welcoming a new head basketball coach, Eric Nitsche, as well as family, wife Hannah, and then 3 boys, Blake, Jack, and Luke. This time, I'd like to bring up Butler Community College Athletic Director Todd Carter for the official introduction of our new head coach.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you again for coming and for the thousands that are on the live stream watching all over the world. Hey, it's a great day to be a Grizzly. You know, the Grizzly Bear is a ferocious and fierce competitor. Doesn't back down from anything or anyone. So, yes, it's been an interesting couple of weeks, but we came back fighting strong like the Grizzly Bear does. Had over close to 100 applicants. The search committee reviewed them all, searched over them, interviewed a couple, live in-face, person to person, and one gentleman continued with his enthusiasm, his excitement, and his willingness and wanting to become a Grizzly. And so with that being said, the next individual to continue the pride and the excellence and the tradition of Butler basketball, Eric Nitsche.
Well, first off, I would not be here at all, and I'll get into them without this family I adore right to my left. But I can't thank TC, the administration, Dr. Krull, the committee, everybody involved in this enough. I know it's a lot. I know we'll get into some things here, maybe today, maybe not. But to entrust me with my first opportunity being a head coach at a place like this is we'll always be in debt. We'll be forever grateful, and we will. It's something we will not take lightly. The Board of Administration, all involved. That being said, I cannot reinstate the reason why we're here. Athletically, basketball is great, but at the same time, the personal side of things. And that's what's always drawn me to here. I've been, the last 6 years, this coming into the 6 years, 3 different places in this conference that are good places that us being kind of our roots from Kansas City, we would pass by here. We would come to the power plant multiple times, obviously, to play. Butler, yes, because of location, but even more, me as an outsider at the time, being welcomed in now has always stood out to me about the people. Just like any place, I've been at some good places, but places isn't where it ends. It's about the people. It's about the substance that gets done, you know. And the proximity is awesome for my folks and my family. There's going to be a ton of new Grizzly fans. We're up there in Kansas City. We got a lot of red and blue and black and gold on state lines. Missouri, KU. We didn't have much purple. We ran across to the bookstore today to get that rocking and rolling. And flowing right into, I mean, the athletic department here, across the board. I mean, there's obviously you got to have really good people running the show to have really good sports programs, and then all the infrastructure of the staff below that. And it's been like that for a long time. I'm very aware. I'll get into this in a little bit. I'm a sports Jayhawk, but Jayhawk conference kind of junkie. This is all I've ever done, and I'm extremely content with that. I've been exposed to some other things, but getting right into, I mean, my first experience ever here as a coach, I was here as a kid, kind of come and go, watching some different things, but my first experience in the power plant, I mean, it would have been 10 years ago. It was probably the most, I mean, we got the doors beat off of us, but by a really good team, by a team that Coach Bargan and I. Even before that, I mean, TC just took me down to the locker room. I've seen the pictures. I know what this can be down here. I've witnessed it on the other side for a long time, and that's something that draws us very, very close to here, and it makes you want to be a part of that, and it makes you want to, just relish in that. Getting right into my family, it was quite this isn't about me, but I guess it is. I mean, I'm a selfless guy the way I've been raised. But I would not be here if it wasn't for them. It had been quite the whatever you want to deem it tornado the last few months. You live and learn through some things. We told them 3 days ago. 2 out of the 3 were in tears instantly. And we went through the same thing 3 years ago, leaving Ark City to Hutch, now Hutch to El Dorado. There's a lot of great people we're leaving at Hutch. There was tons of great people that we left in Ark City. So it is what it is there. The 2 on my far left were in instant tears, friends, all the things. My middle son Jack right here, without hesitation, he just looked at me, gave me the biggest hug, and just said, "Finally." And he said, because I'd come home every night after a game. A lot of times I was always hoping they were asleep. Usually they weren't, because they would want to rehash it all, even as an assistant. They're just ingrained in anything we're doing. He's just like, "Finally, man, finally, Dad, you're the real coach." So I got a lot of great perspective there. They ground me, humble me, motivate me when I need it, all the things. I mean, I adore them. I can't state that enough. My wife, Hannah, she's the rock of all that. I'm not a big storyteller, but one little quick story. We were at Cali, and I think I was complaining about something. I don't really try to bring any of it home. Other than game night, you come home, and that's what they know. That's what they see. They're not at practice. But I was complaining about something. Maybe we lost. Maybe it was a player, something. And but I'll never forget. She's a nurse. We have a lot of these conversations, but in a nutshell, she says, "Hey, man, at the end of the day, you're coaching a game. You're coaching basketball for a living. Like, you can complain or we can get better and move on. Like, I don't always, and I love my work. I don't even call it work or my job, but meanwhile, she's saying, well, I'm about to go literally save somebody's life, and I don't like my job all the time either." So she's a nurse. She does it all for us. And then, so I want to thank them. Getting right into this, I won't be here very long. There's 3 people in my basketball career, in my life, that I want to make sure and thank here. And I don't want to be long-winded in this. The first one, kind of in order of how they played out in my life, is a man that's still ticking, and his wife, Jerry and Kathy Mullen, that they brought me in at an extremely young age, and I was exposed to things that have helped me tremendously. I'd spend a lot of summers with their family in dorm rooms, running these higher profile type camps, dorm rooms that didn't have air conditioning, and that's where I kind of learned what this was all about. I was around coaches that are coaching in the NBA, all the things. I saw it all. But he took me in the path of how to treat people a certain way, and then he was kind of known as an evaluator, identifier, all those. The basketball guys kind of know that, but he just he gave me a chance to kind of see what it was all about, and then we became best friends ever since, our families, and then it kind of turned right into we're big Royals fans, and we thought could play the GM of the Royals and be kind of dating more and all those kind of things, and we'd have arguments. It'd come and go. He gave me my chance. John Oler, I wasn't a great player. He gave me a chance to play at the community college level up at KCK, and then shortly after gave me a chance to get into the business when I wasn't sure exactly what I wanted to do and what level. So always be in debt to those guys. And then the guy I worked for 10 years, Coach Tommy DeSalm, I don't want to get emotional on this, but the opportunity he gave me 10 years ago to go down to Ark City was something that I'll always be in debt for. And the highs and lows we had together, 10 years. We just completed our 10th season, 7 at Cali, 3 at Hutch. But he taught me how to run a basketball program. A couple years into it, he entrusted me with things that lead me to being prepared for this spot right here. He entrusted me with almost everything that you could entrust an assistant. How to treat people, how to hold people accountable, how to keep, I know it's cliche coach speak, but how to keep the main thing, and never get too high, too low, and that's what we did. And one thing, there's so many things I learned from him that we learned together, but one of the main things on the competitive side, I really learned to not be near as much results driven and more what we did on a daily basis that turned into good results. Just one thing there's a lot of things there, but I always thought before we had kind of next level success on the basketball court, we'd spend, and recruiting's changed. Pre-COVID, and this was even before that, but 8-9 years ago, I remember when tablets kind of became a thing, and before that, we'd be on the recruiting trail for a month. I just remember it like it was yesterday. We'd pull up somewhere to get a burger and whatever and end the day, and it'd be during the national tournament. And I had a tablet. He wasn't the most tech savvy. I wasn't really either at the time, but I had a tablet those 3 years, and while the national tournament was still going on, there'd be other Jayhawk teams that we would be rooting for, and that was kind of the drive then on the competitive side of things. And we'd watch, we'd pay the $10, whatever it is, but it was something that I'll never forget, because from that point on, we took a step, and then the last 5 years we've been in that and made pretty solid runs, starting with the year it got shut down. A lot of people could say that, but that team was extremely close to my heart, and who knows what they would have done. But we made 4 of the next 5 national tournaments. I'm kind of contradicting myself there and getting choked up not talking about results, but it's something flowing right into wrapping this up. Our team, my mom and dad are here. They another thing, I'll try to not get emotional. I said this to the interview committee. The way we're going to operate here is how I was raised. We're going to treat people a certain way. We're going to love on them, but we're going to live our lives by the golden rule. I've seen a lot of things here recently, and even in my past. There's no substitute for living our lives by the golden rule. And yeah, with that, we can be competitive, we can hold people accountable, and the second thing they taught me, just keeping it simple about as it is, it's who you surround yourself with. And going back to the introductory here, the people that I really haven't met, a couple people reached out to me that aren't here, but I get a great feel, a great vibe for the people that make this place. And as a college basketball coach, you have the luxury of choosing who you surround yourself with. And that's when my kids, and we reinforce that to them. They're 10, 7, and 4. It's really as simple as that as far as how that is. In my first 5 years with Coach DeSalm, I probably learned the most about coaching basketball, far more than I have the last 5. And we were extremely average those first 4 to 5 years. But you learn how to coach, and you learn how to make your way with, just being blunt, a little lesser player that might be a little less bought in. That my first time here, it was different, but Bargain's crew, they would press you, and they would put you in a position where the guys that couldn't handle the ball were forced to bring the ball up, and we didn't have many ball handlers, so that was a bad recipe for us, And then flowing right into we kind of flipped the script and started playing fast. People ask all the time, like, what are you going to do when you're a head coach? I don't have the exact answer. We didn't have the exact answer when we started doing that 5 years ago. But I do know this. We're going to treat people a certain way. We're going to hold them accountable. And we're going to surround ourselves with as good a clientele as we can. Not just basketball players, but how they are as people. There is no sacrifice for that. The moment it was kind of night and day that we started doing that, and I'm not saying there won't be plenty of adversity. I mean, we're going to ask young men to get 99%. We're going to ask them to get in the best shape of their lives. That's hard. We're going to ask them to do things they haven't done. But what that turns into is what I think leadership is. You're going to empower people to do things that they maybe thought they couldn't do before. And so, yes, I'm not going to sit here and paint the roses. There's going to be adversity through that. The other thing, I think leadership's pretty simple. And what the process I went here with TC and the committee is you got to make decisions, sometimes tough decisions, and then you roll with it from there. And you go with, whether it's your basketball team, your staff, whatever it is, you make the most out of what you got. And yeah, it's June 1st tomorrow. That doesn't bother me at all. I said that in the interview. It still doesn't bother me. We will get the right clientele here to represent not only us, but the community and the people of El Dorado, and something to truly get behind. And there will be an ample amount of work that goes into that. The other thing, like I was talking to Michaela about, we're going to get people that genuinely 100% want to play, want to put the Grizzly jersey on, that want to be here for all the right reasons that align, because I've seen it done a lot of different ways, but if you're doing your due diligence, you can do it with people that are wired a certain way. And I know I'm getting a little long-winded. Just want to make sure I'm hitting the last of it. I mean, I'd be totally remiss. I mean, we're the student athletes, the players that have got me to this position, just like my family, just like my folks, just like my old mentors. It is all about them. It always will be about them. I mean, I kind of consider myself a gatherer of people. And you get this term, a player's coach. Well, I haven't been a head coach yet. I know that, but I do know this. Just because you get that label and times are a-changing, as we all know, you can still hold people accountable, you can still play really hard, and you can still be about something bigger than yourself. And when you do that, I think there's people that want to get behind that. I've witnessed it. I've been a part of it. But there is a long, long list of guys, and I'm not going to get into naming them, that put me right here, of players that I love like my own sons, that I trust around my own sons, and we wouldn't be here at all for them. And without anything further than me, I just want to thank you all for being here. It's extremely important to me. It's an opportunity of a lifetime for me, and I appreciate every single one of you. I appreciate the committee, the administration, and for sure TC. So.
First, I'd like to say my first crack at it, I butchered Coach's name. Not Nitsche, it's Nitsche, so everybody knows. I know it. But next, we have a couple questions for Coach, and then that'll wrap things up. So, Coach, come on back up.
I'll get started back here. Coach, thanks. Awesome to have you here.
Yep.
Welcome to the Bucco family. What's the next 2 weeks look like for you?
Yeah, it's. I told somebody there at the doorway, it is. I'm thrilled for what the next 2 weeks hold. I've been in a. I told the committee this. There will be absolutely no excuses. There's no any kind of whatever you want to call it, victim mentality. I am ecstatic for the next 2 weeks. We've been in some kind of holding period that I've never been in my professional career. So it'll flow right into putting the roster together, going home. Probably mowing the lawn, having a dinner with them, and then getting to work with a roster, with a staff. I mean, that's what it'll be all day, every day. And we've been working kind of behind the scenes on that, but now that we're here, I can't wait for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, Coach, I mean, you've been in the conference for a good while now, so what was it about this opportunity that you kind of wanted to step forward and get this?
Yeah, great question. Through all this, I told the committee this. I just what we chose to do. When you have success, you get opportunities. There was opportunities that were in front of us that did not align with our family's path. I don't want to talk too much about the future, but my oldest is 10. There was opportunities that didn't match up with what we wanted. This one is a total exception to that. And all I knew for a decade, I was loyal to people and I was loyal to places. People first and foremost. This was all. I think this is a total upper echelon job in this conference. I've been in different places. This is my 4th place. So the people that make it, the resources, the structure behind it, the town, the location. I mean, it checked every box that really it possibly could within the Jayhawk Conference.
Yeah, and then just looking a little more into the basketball side of things, like last 5 seasons, the teams that you've coached, been on part of the staff, have led the conference in scoring. So, like, what do you envision for, this program and like the style of play? Like, how would you describe your style of play?
Yeah, I think like that goes along with Tyler's question. We're going to, the next couple weeks, definitely the next 2 months, will be that question will be answered. We're going to play fast. I'm not going to beat around the bush. We're going to play fast. We're going to dictate what other teams do in these next 2 weeks, these next 2 months. We're not going to get. We're going to have bigger guys, longer guys. We're not going to get guys that can't get up and down the floor, that can't move laterally, and then we'll see what that kind of morphs into. Yeah, and bringing it back to family, I mean, those 5 years have been special on the basketball floor for us. My oldest is 10. The standard that we're held to, not even within the confines of our working spot at my home, I mean, those kids have been spoiled when it comes to our success. But Blake was 5, so that's when you kind of start remembering stuff. Before that, there was a lot of not-so-great years in the win and loss column. So the standard we hold ourselves to within these walls, between the family walls, I mean, it's all kind of relative, and all they know is playing a little faster than the average. And that's looked different. Through those 5 years, that's looked extremely different. The year it got shut down, that was the fastest playing team I think you could ever create. I'm not going to sit here. We're going to be truth tellers. People can say what they want, lightning in a bottle, whatever, catch people off guard. To this year at Hutch, we were pretty good. And there was guys that maybe weren't extremely bought into trapping every first pass and making it the most chaotic thing ever. But we still played fast. We still dictated what people do, and we had success with that. So it'll depend on the young men we bring in, but we will put points on the scoreboard, and we'll rebound and get the ball out. So hopefully that answers pretty good.
Yeah, and then just lastly, what are your expectations? When people think of Butler basketball from here on out, what do you want them to come to mind whenever they think of this program?
Yeah, I probably didn't hit on this enough. Being a hoops junkie, a junior college Jayhawk junkie, whatever you want to say, I do want to make that a point. I mean, there is, in my eyes, and I know a lot of people's eyes that are educated on, I mean, there's I deem a Hall of Fame list of coaches that have coached here. I mean, I'm not that. Me and my wife are both 37. I mean, I think Butler was in 2 national championship games, since we've been alive. So, I mean, we've been in a national championship game at a different place other than Hutch. I don't want to get that misconstrued. I mean, this is a place that has had really good teams in the recent pass and the long pass all the way through. I think that gets misconstrued some. But we're going straight to your question. We are not results driven, because that's what's driven us to having good results. We're not going to talk about it a whole lot, but we're not going to dodge it when asked. So what we're going to be is what we're about every single day, and the clientele we're bringing in, how we want to truly represent us. Not just on that court, but that does, in my opinion, translate to winning games on that court. How they're going to act in the community, how they're going to act to their professors, how they're going to act with other teams. I mean, I'm all about that stuff. I can't stress that enough. I've been around both sides. I'm all about cohesiveness within a department. We will be the biggest football, volleyball, soccer, women's basketball, Butler fans that there is. That's how we are. That's the path we choose. You know, and the 15 guys we bring in are going to be outreaches of that they will. That's what we are. That's what we promote. That stuff wins. You know, so I think it's something that people can really get behind, and it's going to be a very servant leadership type of way, because that's what I've found has worked. And I'm not gonna paint a false picture. I mean, we're going to work extremely hard. We're going to get guys that have been raised to work hard. Yeah, they all come from different things, but they've been raised a certain way. They've been coached a certain way. We're going to do our due diligence to find those guys, and then we're going to take them to a level that they thought maybe they couldn't achieve prior. So. Anybody else? Thank you. Thank you very much.